Hi. Well, it's another beautiful day, as always, although it's night. And today I want to talk about you. Now, I'm sorry this video was late, but I got sick. That happens. Or that, rather, this life form got sick. Okay? Anyway, so what I want to talk about you today is how beautiful you are. And that means that you're beautiful, which means what? That you're good looking, or maybe that you're strong, or whatever. Well, that stuff doesn't matter. The reason you're beautiful is because you're part of the one. And, we have the one, okay, which everybody is part of. All life on earth is part of the one. And we have the many over here. And we think we're all just living our lives. We have no idea that any of us are one, okay? But we are. Now, what does that mean? It means that it's different. There's a lot of things going on in this world, so many, and everyone thinks they're them, okay, or me. And so that's the thing. That's what's going on. Now, the thing that's beautiful about you is the one. Because you're part of the dance of life. You're part of the blooming of intelligence in the universe. Okay? That's what makes you beautiful. Because of your oneness. And every other place in the universe has that too. If there's any kind of thing going on there, like this we got going here. Anyway, so what that means is that even though you think you're me or you, language is really tricky, isn't it? It just doesn't matter. Now, why are you beautiful? Well, because you're the one. The one is always beautiful because the one is everyone. Everything. Okay? And that means that's a pretty beautiful thing. But you think you're you, which is fine. Okay? I'm not trying to make any judgments on whether or not you're you. Okay? The only problem is you're not. You're part of the one. Now, what does that mean exactly? It means that beneath this person, beneath you, is what? Emptiness. Consciousness emerges from emptiness. That's where consciousness comes from. Okay? You are consciousness. I think you're a soul, too. Doesn't matter what I think. Okay? But your consciousness emerges from nothing. Everything on this planet has emerged from the formless dimension. Okay? Nothingness. God emerges from nothingness too. Now, I know this is all kind of tricky, but try to stay with me. Okay? So you can continue living your life as you are, as me, which is fine. Okay? And many people have and will into eternity. Okay? But you could also try to be part of the one. Okay? And that's by waking up. Now, I know it sounds really hard to do that because in order to wake up, you have to kind of lose you. And I know that's really hard to do. Okay? But that's just the way it is. There's nothing we can do to make it any different than the way it is. And we have to accept what is. Okay? Now, if you want freedom, okay, which I assume you do, otherwise why would you be watching this? Then you need to awaken, or you need to begin the process of awakening, the spiritual path, okay? Which I'm sure many of you have begun that, and that's fantastic. And what that allows you to do is look at your life. And not just your life, but look at you. Your life is this kind of thing we call ourselves, I guess. I don't know why. It's what we do. Okay? Oh, look at my terrible life. Look at these bad things that have happened to me. Okay? Because we're creatures of time. We exist in time. And as long as we do exist in time, then we're going to suffer. That is the way, nature of karma. Okay? And so, what we want to do is get out of time. Okay? Simple as that. Get out of time. Not be in time. Because being in time is being trapped. Okay? From the moment you're born, okay, you are trapped. You're trapped in the body. We're all trapped in these bodies. Crazy, isn't it? But that's what it is. Okay? So, it's hard to try and figure out who you are, X minus the body. Okay? You look in the mirror and you say, oh, look at my eyebrows and my smile and my cute chin. Or whatever part of you happen to be looking at. Okay? But that's not you. Because you are everything. You are the universe. And that's the same thing with your personality. Okay? Which is a product of the ego. Okay? This personality was wrapped around you, and now you think that's what you are. Okay? And why was that done? Because that's just the way it was done. Okay? Because this world is more interested in what they think might be going on in your mind than they should be. And so we have people that train in psychology and psychodynamics and social whatever. Okay? And they've made these terms like schizophrenia, borderline personality. Now, there's so many of them, okay, to sort of pigeonhole your mind. Now, hopefully you're normal and you don't have any of those. But everyone has neuroses. Everyone has these little things about themselves that they don't like. Right? I mean, everyone does. And that is what we cling to. Clinging onto these things is what's causing the suffering. Now, I'm not saying that suffering is something we want to avoid, but it is. Okay? But it's part of being caught in time. Okay? From the moment you were born, you were caught in time. And time had you. Okay? Now, I don't know if I believe in fate or whatever, but that's the way it is. You were fated to be born. You were fated to go up. You were fated to live. You were fated to die. That's the nature of time. Okay? So, in order to get free of time, in order to get free of this body, in order to get free of this mind, you have to awaken. Okay? And Buddha said it best. There is suffering. Suffering exists. Suffering is the result of the clinging of the mind. Okay? If you don't want to suffer, stop clinging. That's it. Okay? That was his Four Noble Truths. Okay? And he had ways of getting you to stop clinging. But anyway, the point is, that's what it's all about. If you want to be free of the mind, the body, the personality, which are all labels. that have been put on you by everyone. Okay? You need to accept and let go. Accept that you are not necessarily the person, you are not necessarily the psychology, you're not necessarily the history, you're not your memories. I know that's hard. I know it's difficult to try and think that, but that is what it is. I know it's difficult, It's a difficult world. But to start with, just to start, okay? Try and get into meditation. Try and look at the breath. Feel the breathing. If you stick to it long enough, you'll get into the now, okay? You breathe every day, thousands of times per day, and by doing that, by paying all your attention into one thing, the breathing, your mind stops. Doesn't have to be breathing. It could be something else like surfing or mountain biking or chanting or whatever you want. Mantra meditation. But it doesn't really matter which way you use, what method you use, because all methods are part of a trap. So, try and accept what is. Try and accept that you are not this person you think you are, that you've been trained to be, that you've been programmed and conditioned to be. I know it's hard. I know it's very difficult. We love our persons, don't we? I mean, I'm smart and pretty. And, what do they call it? Agile and ability to change, adapt, because I'm a human being. Okay? That's what we do. But it just doesn't matter what you are, because above all and under all is the one. Okay? I get it. It's kind of a weird thing to think that that's what you are, but it is. Okay? You are a soul created by God out of himself, sent down into your egg, that first drop of protoplasm, DNA, whatever you want to call it, that then developed into you. That is who you are. If you believe that you're this person, which don't get me wrong, I love persons, okay? And I loved being a person for a while, but after, my 20s and everything, things started to get dicey. And then I started hating being me. So, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is you getting free. And the way that you get free is to accept what is. Ram Dass calls it saying, "Ah, so," whenever anything happens. Life. Ah, so. Birth. Ah, so. Death. Ah, so. Makes no better difference what's happening, okay? If you just say, "Ah, so," then it's not going to make you suffer. That's all there is to it. Now, we don't really like "ah, so" because it doesn't really mean anything, okay? It means acceptance. Accepting something as it occurs instead of grabbing onto it or pushing it away. That's what we do. We are aversion attraction machines. Now, I know that's kind of hard to see, but that's what we are. Okay? In order to survive in this world, in the world that we came out of, okay, we needed to be that. And we were that. And we did successfully. And that's why we're here now. But we don't need it anymore. And this attraction and pushing away at things. I'm old. My brain isn't what it was. It's a trap. You're in a trap, just like the trap of time. Now, in order to stop averting or wanting, okay, attraction or aversion. That's the name. That's the word. Anyway, in order to stop that, which is really a sick circle, okay, you have to accept that that's not you. It's not you. Okay? Whatever it is that you want or whatever it is you're trying to push away, it's not you. It wants you. Yeah, it does, because that's the way it is. Okay? I know this is hard to kind of see, but look. So, what you want to try and do is get into the being. Okay? Get into the now. Okay? And when you're in there, for however long it is, look back. Look at you. Not at your timeline, not at your history, not at all that other crap. Just you. Okay? And see what you're clinging to. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole practice. Not really practice, but it's a way of looking at yourself. And once you can see what you're clinging to, you can stop the suffering. Okay? I know it's hard to get into the now because it's not easy to still the mind. But if you do one thing, just one thing, to the exclusion of everything else, then you will enter the now. So that means going into the woods and being with nature. That's one thing, and your mind stops. Or whatever way or method you have, it doesn't really matter. Taking drugs, that'll do it too. The point is to get into that space and look at yourself. Look at who you are and what is important to you. Okay? And once you have done that, okay, then you can see where you're clinging. Okay? It might be anything, it might be everything. It's hard to say. But only you can see that. No one else can look into your life and see that. Because we put on the mask. That's what we do. Because we're identifying with everything. And that identification is what makes us feel good. Right? To some extent. You spend, most of your 20s trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do with your life. And then finally you find it. And you say, that's me. That's the new me. Or maybe that happens earlier. Whatever. But the point is, now you need to go look at just you. Look at who you are and what it means to you. Okay? I know you have a great job. You have a great career. You have a great mind and a beautiful body and all that stuff. Okay, and that lures you into being you. Okay? Only one problem with that. It's not you. Because you are an eternal, limitless being that we can call a soul or consciousness. However you want to call it, really doesn't matter. The main thing is just to remember that's who you are. Okay? I know it's hard. It's a hard thing to try and do, but you can do it. And so we get started by just getting into the now. Okay? Which is a really cool place that, believe me, you want to be there. And when you're in the now, then you're out of time. You have escaped the trap of time. Okay? The trap of time that says you have to be someplace. The trap of time that says you have to go do something. The trap of time that makes you do the things you have to do. We don't want to be thinking of ourselves as somebody who's made to do something or anything like that. Do we? No. But that is what is. So, we have to try and accept that is the isness of our lives. Okay? Only by seeing the trap, only by seeing the lack of freedom in your life, can you realize you don't want that. Okay? You can't get out of a trap until you can see it. And a lot of people, they don't want to get out of their traps. They're so happy with their traps. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that's what they feel. So, just try for 1 minute. And just pay attention to your breathing. The feeling of it coming in your nose, the feeling of it going through your mouth, the feeling of it going through your throat, into your lungs, filling your chest cavity. And then coming back out. And if you just stick to that one thing, you can get into the now. Okay? Anyway, so when you're there, that is when you can do the work you need to do in order to let go of these things. I know it's hard to let go of them. Very hard sometimes, but that's what we need to do. We cannot hold this personness with the memories and be part of the one. Yes, everyone on earth is part of the one, but they don't know it. But you cannot hold on to these things here and grasp this. It's not possible. You have to empty yourself, okay, of this. Let it go. Get empty. And being in the now is how you can get there. Because the longer you spend in the now, the more empty you become. Because even though we're grasping onto all these things, emptiness makes us less graspable. Anyway, so what we have to do is accept that all these things are part of you. Yes, you have a personality. Yes, you have memories. You have history. You have a person, a body, brain. All that is part of you, but it's not the important part. There's only one important part, and that is the soul. Okay? And everything that you love about yourself is in that. Because the way you turn out as a human being, it has a large part of the type of soul you are, the person, the soulness that you are. Words are so hard. Okay, it's really hard to talk about the soul and the person and not make them into the same thing. But they're not the same thing. Okay? So, you're not going to lose yourself. You're not going to lose those special qualities. You're not going to lose your uniqueness. Because all that is already in there. It's in the soul. Okay? What you're going to lose is holding on to something that isn't you. I know. It's hard to do, but you can do it. And when you get into the now and you can see without judgment, I know we all love to judge, don't we? Judging is so cool, but it's actually really bad for you. Once we're in the now, the judgment fades. So does the fear. Okay? And you can see clearly what you're doing. And I'm not saying anything you're doing is wrong or bad or whatever. That's what you do. You can see it. And once you see it, you can realize, recognize that it's not you. Your history. A string of memories going from life to birth. That's what it is. Is that what you are? Are you a string of memories? Is that it? Your body. Atoms. Your body is constantly changing because atoms are leaving it and then there are new ones coming in. Okay? So, your body isn't you. Okay? This psychology that we have dreamed up to explain away all of our different personalities, that's not you either. There's only one thing that is you, and that is your divine identity of soul Or if you don't like the word soul, which I'm totally okay with not liking that, consciousness. Okay? So try and see, recognize who you are. This string of memories is wonderful. Wonderful string of memories. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But it's not you. And this person with all of its wonderful characteristics and all the great things about it, it's not you either. What is you is that tiny kernel of truth within you, the soul. The thing is, we identify. Now, that's what we're all about, is identifying with things. Okay? I say often, that your car is not who you are. You may say, oh, I don't think that my car is who I am. My car is my car. But the fact is, we identify with these things. And then when they go bad, it hurts. Doesn't it? Of course it does. That's suffering. Okay? And identifying things, you're making them a part of you. You see your life as you with your car, or your house, or your wife, or your kids. That's how you think you are. That's who you think you are. That's what defines you, right? Of course. But it's not. So try and see beyond this diversion world. Okay? It's a diversion. That's all it is. It's trying to stop you from recognizing your spiritual self. And it's doing a really good job of that. Which is why most people do not see that. And I'm here to try and help you to see who you are. Because you cannot be happy if you think you're something you're not. And you cannot have fulfillment if you think you're doing it for reasons you're not. I mean, one of the ways people get fulfillment is by giving. Okay? But what we do is we say, oh, well, this is conditional giving. I'm going to give you this money, but you're not going to drink on it, and you're not going to do anything. It's conditional. You have to eat with it. Or whatever it is. Okay? That's not giving, really. Because once you put a condition on something, then you destroy the gift. That's how it goes. I know that's a terrible thing to have to think, but that's the way it is. Like, for instance, USAID, who gave lots of drugs and all these things to, all these people around the world. Well, they also want those people around the world to believe in democracy. That was part of the conditions they laid upon the gift, which destroys the gift. And if you don't know that, then your giving winds up hurting the person. If you think of giving as an ego trip, oh, I feel so wonderful, I feel so fulfilled, then that's another trap. Okay? Look, there is the web of life, but there is also the web of compassion. Okay? And we all feel that to some extent, don't we? Yes. Okay? And that web of compassion is what makes you want to give. But what happens is the ego is in there pulling the strings. And so in order to give, to get something out of it, the ego wants something. What does it want? That feeling of fulfillment. That's what it wants. And the ego wants that and a lot of other things, but that's what it really wants, that fulfillment of doing something for someone else. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, but that's the way it is. So, in order to not be doing that, in order to not do that as part of your life and as part of your journey, okay, you have to be able to see that you're doing it. Okay? I think that giving is great, everything. People need things, we give them to them. It's great. And on the surface, it's all fine because it doesn't matter, because they got what they needed, right? But the thing is, you're dehumanizing people when you give with this idea of it's going to make you feel something. We all want to feel something, don't we? Anyway, so try and remember who you are. You may not remember it in your mind, but your soul remembers it, okay? And it's there waiting for you to contact it. The soul cannot reach out to you. It tries. And you think, oh, I saw a ghost. Or, oh, I saw an alien. Or whatever, okay? But it can't really reach you because you are completely distracted by everything. Well, the clock on the wall is telling me that my time here is up. I love you all. Sorry about the lateness of this video once again because I got really sick. Which happens with life forms and in no fit state to do anything about it. So, please remember who you are. Remember, I love you all. And I think every single human is beautiful and wonderful because they are. Because they are part of the one. If you have any comments or questions about anything I've said here, okay, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them in the comments and make a video about your question to help elucidate it further, okay? I know all this stuff is very hard to try and understand or see, but it's in you. Everything I'm telling you is something that you already know. You just don't know that you know it. Crazy, isn't it? That's a crazy world. Anyway, have a great life and a great day.